friends, happy Sunday. Today we're finally talking about the Didache. Look, I'm not stupid. I know the last few videos on Ignatius and Papias, they weren't exciting. I know we like it most when we get topics that have some mystery to them and some newness. That the videos had great facts, but they just weren't that exciting. So I'm excited to get into the Didache. It gets a really bad rap from people who say, well, it's not canonized scripture. But as we're going to learn today, there's a lot to understand about the Didache, which verifies scripture that came along after it. The Didache is the teaching of the 12 apostles, what they orally taught as they were given it by Jesus Christ and immediately after. First, I want to tell you a little bit about the age of the Didache, how editors have aged the document. The date of the Didache is more inferred by what is not said in it than what is said in it. It's silent as to its usage as a document in the early church, which prevailed from the middle of the 2nd century. As for instance, the baptismal observances. In fact, what is often viewed as the first creed of the church, the baptismal observance, which it could scarcely have failed to notice if it happened at the time that the Didache existed. Do you follow what I'm saying there? What I'm saying is, if this document were around at the time of the baptismal observances that were written about later, it would have said something about it, and it doesn't. The chapters on the church organization don't recognize the distinction of 3 orders, which dates to about the middle of the 2nd century. And the style and substance of this bear a very simplistic mark. It refers to the Gospels, but it doesn't talk about them as written documents. It talks about them as one gospel, an oral transmission. It doesn't make reference to any epistles by name, but it makes references from all of the epistles that would later be canonized. So the Didache is the foundation on which the 12 apostles began teaching Christianity. And we are going to know word for word exactly what they said. Today we're looking at the 1st chapter, which essentially is their teaching that says what is said in the Beatitudes. There's essentially a good way and a bad way, and here are the distinctions of them. You're going to notice as we go today that I put scriptures on the screen as I'm reading from the Didache. I'm doing this after a lot of research for those people who are skeptical of this book or try to criticize it by saying, oh, because it's not canonized, we can't look at it, we can't get anything from it. I think we've put that one to bed. Secondly, this all does not belong to the Catholic Church. If you are a Christian of any stripe, this is our history. Don't let anybody make you feel like you have to be a certain denomination to access this stuff. This stuff belongs to all of us who claim the mark of Jesus Christ, who claim the salvation of the beautiful mystery of God. Here we go. The teaching of the Lord through the 12 apostles to the Gentiles in chapter 1. There are 2 ways, one of life and one of death. And there is much difference between the 2 ways. The way of life, then, is this. First, thou shalt love God who hath made thee. Secondly, thy neighbor as thyself. And all things whatsoever thou wouldest not should be done unto thee, do not unto another. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And of these words the teaching is this, bless them that curse you, and pray for your enemies, and fast for those that persecute you. For what have ye, if ye love them that love you? Do not even the Gentiles the same? But do ye love them which hate you? And ye shall not have an enemy. Wow. How deep is that? Not only does it verify what's taught in the Gospels, think from a modern psychological standpoint, it's essentially saying, don't give rent-free space in your brain to people for resentment. That's what it's saying. Abstain from fleshly and bodily lusts. If a man give thee a blow on your right cheek, turn and let him hit the other. If a man shall compel thee to go 1 mile, go with him 2. If any man shall take thy cloak, give him your coat also. If any man take from thee that which is thine own, ask not it again, for neither canst thou. Give to everyone that asketh of thee, and ask not again. For the Father wills that men give to all men out of what they have themselves received. Sound familiar? God takes care of us and our needs. He meets the needs of each person, each family. This is why in the commandments it talks about don't covet what your neighbors have. Don't covet your neighbor's wife. Oh, human sinfulness, how we're wired. Think about it. What do? We look in our neighbor's driveway. We judge their cars. We judge the way they parent. And we don't mean to do this. We know it's wrong to gossip, but we pitter-patter with our spouses about the neighbor and what they do here and there. This is all stuff that Jesus is telling us not to do this because it doesn't matter. If someone offends you, let them offend you. These things ultimately don't matter in this life. What matters is the condition of your spirit, because if the condition of your spirit is sound, the things of the world do not control you. Amazing, amazing. Blessed is he who gives according to the commandment, for he is free of blame, but woe to him that receiveth, for if being in need he receiveth, he shall be free of blame. But he that receiveth not being in need shall be punished. Ooh. He that receiveth but not being in need shall be punished? Does that sound to you like materialism? Because it sounds like materialism to me. Don't take more than your share. God will provide for all that we need here at the table of plenty, as the great hymn says. This also reminds me of a verse in the Gospels. In fact, I learned Spanish by reading the Bible in Spanish. It's "Y quien de vosotros podrá, por mucho que se afane, añadir esta todo un codo." Who among us can add an hour to our life by worrying about this or that? And it goes on to say, look at the birds. They don't store up for themselves, and God provides for them. That's the point being made here. So many human frailties, immoralities, and defects of character could be wiped clean if we simply just follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. As best we can. We'd never get it right all the time. Continuing in chapter 1 of the Didache, the teaching of the apostles, their oral teaching. This is what they told people the teachings of Jesus were about when they came up to them and said, I heard you saw the crucifixion, and that you saw after that he was alive. What did he say to you? What did he teach you? What am I to do? Just like in Luke, the disciples and apostles asked him, Lord, teach us to pray. But coming under constraint, he shall be examined concerning the things which he did, and he shall not come out thence until he have paid the uttermost farthing. But about this also it has been said, let thine alms sweat in thy hands until thou discernest unto whom thou givest. I couldn't believe in this more. Look, there's a new breed of Christian out there that isn't necessarily going into the weekly services and listening to the dogma of religion, that are becoming saved by Jesus Christ. And the churches out there that request a tax return and want you to tithe a certain percent. This is saying, no, don't do that. Hold on to your money until you've discerned that what you're giving it to is the right thing. The first time I got a big pay from the Google AdSense, for example, I took a portion of it to the homeless shelter. And I made a video saying, hey, this is what I did with it, right? The people that kindly give to me here, I explain what I'm doing with it. Right now I'm building a website. Right now I'm revamping things to make the channel and its contents more professional. And I think when people give to this channel that they should treat it like a tithe, because that's exactly what it is. You're saying, okay, I'm deepening my faith and learning from this individual. I'm going to give a little bit so this individual can continue. That's essentially what's happening. But you should never give a percent, and you shouldn't give to people who say they're doing anything. Look at their actions. Look at what they're doing. Actions speak louder than words. It's quite a simple lesson. That is chapter 1 of the Didache. You want to do one more chapter? Hit like if you want to do one more chapter. Leave a comment if you want to have it done in another video. 3, 2, 1. It's short. We'll do it right now. It's exciting. Sorry. I mean, it's just awesome. All right, more verses are going to go through as we read this. Now, chapter 2. The second commandment of the teaching is thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not corrupt children. Thou shalt not commit fornication. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not use magic arts. Thou shalt not use sorcery. Thou shalt not destroy a child by abortion. Neither shalt thou slay him that is born. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. Thou shalt not forswear thyself. Thou shalt not bear false witness. Thou shalt not speak evil. Thou shalt not be mindful of evil. Wow. Thou shalt not be mindful of evil. Your mind should be in the condition of Christ always. Thou shalt not be double-minded, neither double-tongued. For to be double-tongued is the snare of death. Thy speech shall not be false. It shall not be empty or vain or void, but fulfilled in action. Isn't that what I just said? Thou shalt not be avaricious, neither rapacious, nor a hypocrite, nor malicious, nor overweening. Thou shalt not take evil counsel against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not hate any man, but some thou shalt reprove, and for some thou shalt pray, and some thou shalt love more than thy own soul. Wow. That chapter is short and poignant, and it encapsulates the moral teachings of Jesus Christ so succinctly. Later, these teachings would be expanded upon in the written Gospels and the epistles. And friends, I want to invite you to come back for the next video where we read more chapters of the teachings of the 12 apostles, the Didache. If you would like to support my work, right now that money is going toward building the EvangelistNickGarrett.com website, revamping product stores, finishing the book, Just Tell Me the Truth About the Reformation and Counter-Reformation. And after I have used my time dedicated to research to make you quality material, there are times where I use that money to put food on the table for my family. That's what I have used your gifts for. And if you feel so inclined, pray about it first, please. And if you feel so inclined, give $1, $2, $5. If a lot of you were to give tiny amounts, I think it would be good. Right now, the channel is sustained by the same 5 or 6 people who are really given a lot. And I owe them so much gratitude because the fact that they do that, there's a difference when you're making these videos, when you just make them for passion and love. And then add to that passion and love, somebody says, I believe in what you're doing. Here. Oh, it motivates you so much. It makes you want to work 10 times harder to make the material exciting and interesting and to tell the truth about Christianity. That's what I've always wanted to do since seminary, since deciding to go down this path. I'm not trying to disprove or prove anything. I just want to know the truth. And I want to separate what is objective and factual, narrative apologetics, just like we do with Eusebius, Socrates, all the volumes we're studying history of right now. There are objective sources about the Christian faith. And then there are also subjective ones. The subjective ones aren't wrong or bad. They make up tradition. They make up, sometimes very good habits in the Christian life. But we separate them for the purpose of knowing and understanding. We rise above the petty divisions of denominationalism, and we learn all the doctrines, and the effect of that is we're able to rise above them and see them all from outside and understand Christianity by the sum of all of its parts. It's not about calling out this or that and, oh, this is a heretic and that one believes this, but really it says this. Well, come on, we know that there's a difference between objective and subjective truth. If you've been with this channel long enough, you certainly know it. And that's what truth-first Christianity is. That's what it means. Every time somebody asks me about my YouTube channel, that's what I say. I say we talk about truth-first Christianity in our post-Christian country. We separate the objective and factual from the subjective and traditional for the benefit of our faith. I try to stick to church history because I think there are way better preachers online than I could ever be, way better Bible teachers. From time to time, I do Bible sermons. In fact, I was doing Sunday night live streams, which I'm very disappointed about. The internet where I live is not that good, and I had to temporarily discontinue them while I get a new internet service provider. And at the same time, I'm weighing that against the fact that we might be moving from here to another house soon, and do I get it now or wait? So there's a lot of heavy decisions there. Anyway, friends, I love you all very much. And I owe you so much gratitude for being with me on this journey that has gone on now for 3-4 years. God bless you. If you'd like to support us, you know the deal. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Purchasing one of the books from Amazon.com/author/NicholasGarrett. You can get merch from the Teespring store, which is almost done being revamped. I've probably got less than a week to go to launch a whole new line of products there. And once the website is done, we're going to get away from those third-party ones and do it all ourselves. I always want a way to make sure it feels cheap to do some of these things, so I want it to be appropriate and show it in a way that the love of Christ is present in all of it, So now I'm rambling, but I just wanted to, I haven't recorded in 2 or 3 days, and I'm so excited about what we're talking about now. And I wanted to take a chance to just kind of throw my 2 cents in about what we're doing, where we're going, and where we could use help. God bless you. May your work today bear fruit. I'm going to say it again. I say this at the end of every video to you. God bless you. And may your work today bear fruit. Talk to you next time.